So, I mean, obviously you guys have had a lot of successes. So, but what is what would you say is the biggest challenge for Sprinkles recently?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's, one, keeping our staff and our guests safe during COVID. That's first and foremost. And we did all different and still do all different kinds of things, whether that was we didn't, we kept everything online and we would deliver the bag to the door to you and not let people in the bakeries, or the redesign of our bakeries where we have our shelf, our beautiful jewel box case is still there, but it's glass enclosed. We have easier pickup. We are now, by the end of the year, there'll be in-counter kiosks, so people can just order from the kiosk or from an associate if they like. But anything we can to make it faster and keep distance. And then, we were one of the first in mask wearing and probably one of the last on that. And we pride ourselves in that. So keeping people safe. And we also, we've incentivized our team on a cash basis to get the vaccine. We have a very active tracing program. So those have been real challenges. And then, of course, as we get through this, the labor market is a challenge. No surprise, going across all business platforms. And we've always tried hard to have, great benefits in the hospitality industry, and whether there are things that we should certainly have and have for a long time, whether that's vacation or maternity leave or paternity leave or 401k or health insurance, those are not always prevalent across the industry. And we make sure we have those in very adaptable schedules and pay on demand, you name it, whatever we can do to make people's lives easier.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned a store redesign. When did that roll out?
So that will be done by the end of the year. That started with a rollout here in Austin a few months ago. And basically what you'll find, and Lexington Avenue, I think, is in October, but what you'll find when you go into a bakery that's redone is, one, the static menus will be gone. There are monitors with beautiful pictures that can keep people up to date, particularly with all our LTOs and everything that we do, make it much easier to order. I mentioned that case that's in the same location, but glass enclosed and much easier for the team to stock, and just makes people feel better, when they see that. We know that COVID wasn't really spread through surface contact, but still, we felt it was important to do that. Increase in area generally to the right when you walk in for easy pickup for people. Before, when you pre-ordered, you had to wait in line. We said you could cut the line for that, but who's doing that, and you can go pick up yourself. And then bright colors, new countertops, new tile, as well as what we call a modern dot, much like the dot you see on our cupcakes, a modern dot wallpaper. So bright, fun, cheery.
Oh, awesome. And I know that you guys have a lot coming up next. So what is next in the product innovation pipeline?
Yeah, we've got some really fun stuff coming up. And we do every month, but for instance, in September, we have our matcha glow up, that's a really fun matcha cupcake, and with this coconut collagen core in it. And that core, I'm just pulling it up because I want to make sure that I say everything right on this, but it's a matcha cake filled with a coconut collagen cream core, and then we've got a yuzu citrus buttercream on top of that. And it's a phenomenal cupcake. And, we think adaptogens are important, and we think, and we have another concept that I won't hawk on today, a restaurant concept that we're building called Picnik, which is gluten-free, refined sugar-free, and peanut-free. We use a lot of adaptogens, but we love the beauty angle behind a collagen cream, a plant-based collagen cream. We also have our S'moreo. I don't know if you've ever had that one before, but that next month is one of my favorites because you've got that great marshmallow top that's flavored. We've got the Oreo cookie base. We've got the vanilla buttercream inside with this chocolate drizzle. So that's a few examples.
I think out of all those really exciting new concepts and flavors coming up, the matcha cupcake sounds really interesting. I never would have thought of putting yuzu
Yeah.
on a cupcake, but I think that it would kind of balance it out with the kind of like bright citrusy tones with kind of the earthiness of the matcha.
Mm-hmm.
My food right now by describing that. But
No, you're doing perfect. You're exactly right. I got to start taking notes on your description. I think it's better than ours.
And you mentioned the upcoming restaurant concept. Doesn't sound like you could say too much about it, but is there any like hint that you can give about Picnik?
Sure. We actually have an existing location in Austin, and it's Picnik. It ends with a K, Picnik. And if you look that up, it's picnicaustin.com. We have another. It started with a trailer, also female-founded company. And we have that one brick and mortar in the trailer, and we open our next brick and mortar in the fall here in Austin. And then we next go to Houston next year with that. And as I said, that is gluten-free, refined sugar-free, and peanut-free. And it's just great comfort food that anyone can eat. So it's real food.
What is your plan for national expansion, including those cupcake ATMs?
Yeah, so we have over the next 14 months, it'll be 5 to 6 brick and mortar locations. They'll be in Southern California, Northern California, and in Texas. We're looking at all our core markets, Florida, New York, et cetera. Just the ones that we have leases signed or close to are in the states or areas I mentioned. So that, our growth is really 5 or 6 pronged. It's in no particular order, it's brick and mortar. It's direct to consumer that we talked a little bit about, where our national shipping that started July of 2020. And luckily we were in process on this pre-pandemic, and we had been working over a year on how do we freeze our cupcakes, because we're baked fresh every day. And if something's left over, we're not serving it the next day. So we had a lot of research and development into how this product ships. And so we were able to launch that last July. It's been fantastic. We've added to that product line. We just added our chocolate chip cookies. We'll add more. We will be coming out with a cake mix. We have a cupcake mix now. We have that. And that is part of our CPG line to run into that. We have, I can't mention the national distributor, but we're working on 50 doors with our CPG products and expanding those. So that's fun. And then domestic franchising, I mentioned in the beginning of the call, our VP of development is with what will likely be our first franchisee right now. And then international franchising, we were working on that hard before the pandemic. In fact, had a JVP partner in Hong Kong and Shanghai. We've pulled back on that, but we're now starting that again. And we're looking to have outlets in Asia by Q3 of 2022. And then you mentioned ATMs. And so between our own brick and mortar ATMs and our third-party partner on that, we're at, I think, about 35 right now. And we see that continuing to grow in non-traditional locations, airports, shopping centers that we don't have a location in, lifestyle centers. And those have, we started with those in the airport in Vegas and said, well, let's just give it a try. And it's just been incredibly successful for us. And you'll see 2 more airports roll out this year, 2 of the biggest airports in the country.
I also recommend non-traditional locations like media publication offices.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Well, I think we have been, funny that you say that, because we have been talking to people about some of the big campuses, whether it's what you figure, Google, Facebook, Dell. So we do have a lot of interest in that. And we are now working on even smaller models of the machine, so that, for places that maybe aren't going to sell a few hundred a day.
Well, lots of exciting news on the horizon.